Well, at last the time has come. I will in fact reveal to you why there are dogs in not only this hangar, but in hangars all across the world, and for many, many years now. Here to explain is Dave O'Malley. Now, he is with Vintage Wings of Canada, and before I get you to tell us exactly why hangar dogs can be found everywhere, we have to identify how accomplished you are when it comes to graphic design. Take a minute and look around the hangar here. See all of these banners on the wall, the historic markings on these planes. If you head to the Vintage Wings website, all of that is made by this man here, Dave O'Malley. Good job.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Sarah.
Are you blushing yet?
Yes, I'm blushing.
All right,
Yep.
so let's let people in on the big secret. What hangar dog have we got here?
Well, I'd like to introduce to you all of our hangar dogs. We have, this is Wallace Kirkpatrick O'Malley. This is down here, the English setter is Cleo Fleck. And then the Australian sheepdog is Chili Potter, and that's Ringo Samard, the mechanic's dog. I just want to let you know that we separate our dogs into front office admin dogs, which are pedigree dogs, but they're wimps. They whine anytime anybody leaves the room. They're always looking for treats. But Ringo over here, he's made of mechanic stuff. He eats rivets, a bowl of rivets every morning, and drinks oil. And he is tough, mean, and friendly.
Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure I've been scratching Ringo's belly all morning. And you know what's funny is that I thought that my dog at home was dedicated. No, it's nothing compared to these dogs. They follow you everywhere.
Yeah, they do.
So historically, why were dogs introduced to the hangars?
It's a 100-year-old tradition. It dates right back to the very first flight. The Orville and Wilbur Wright, on their first flight at Kitty Hawk in North Carolina, had a dog with them. And so in the photographs that you see, other than the one of the airplane flying by itself, on the ground, there's about 4 or 5 people, and there was a dog there. And since then, dogs have been an integral part of aviation. In the Second World War and the First World War, all squadrons had a squadron dog, and individual pilots had their own dog. And it was the factor is that they were a long way from home. They were boys, really, 18 and 19 and 20. And this was about the only kind of love they would get, would be from a pet. Their mothers were gone, their girlfriends were away, and the chances of them scoring with girls overseas was pretty slim, so they just had dogs to give them unrequited love.
Right. And with if the dogs were nearly as dedicated as yours are, for sure, it would be a sufficient substitute.
There's a famous dog named Straddle from 422 Squadron, which was a Sunderland bomber squadron, and this dog went on patrols with them, went on bombing missions with them all the time. And
In the plane?
In the plane. And after the war, they flew the dog back home from Scotland all the way to Canada, and to this day, that squadron, which is now a cadet squadron, I believe, still has a black spaniel named Straddle. So when one goes, they get another one, and it just keeps going, and it marches in all their parades. And so squadron dogs are an integral part of every Air Force in the world, from India, China, all over the world. It's one of those strange things.
They're so cute. I've been playing with them all morning. Can you tell me about Red Baron?
Well, there's a guy who had a dog. The Red Baron, Manfred von Richthofen, was probably the highest scoring ace of the First World War, German ace. He's very famous, as everybody knows who the Red Baron is. But he had a bull mastiff named Moritz. And Moritz was a massive dog who had only one ear because he had a little run-in with a propeller from the Red Baron's Fokker.
You're kidding.
And the Red Baron wrote about it and said that he was upset with the damage to the propeller. It was a cold-hearted German ace.
All right, now before we go, we have to recognize the Corsair. Dave, can you tell me why my cameramen have been oogling over this plane all morning?
Well, the Corsair is a crowd pleaser, and it's a massive, large airplane. It's dark blue, it looks mean, it's got an interesting wing shape, and boys all over the world have loved the Corsair. It's one of those airplanes that captures the imagination of kids, and I'm sure everyone who comes here wants to see the Corsair start up, for sure.
And will we see the Corsair not only start up, but take to the skies this weekend at the Wings over Gatineau show?
Absolutely. It'll be flying as well as every airplane we have in the collection that's flyable today.
the lucky pilots that get to take these beauties up in the air, right?
They are indeed the lucky guys. There are very few pilots in the world who fly warbirds. They're only the best pilots in the world. And in our collection, our pilots are all of the best pilots, high time airline pilots, test pilots. We have astronauts on our pilots that fly our Sabre. We have 2 Canadian astronauts, Chris Hadfield, who is the next commander of the International Space Station. He's one of our pilots.
A little bit of pilots from all walks of life, including the Snowbirds. They will be here this weekend at the Wings over Gatineau Air Show. Head to the Vintage Wings website for more information, but stay with us. We've got more to come after the break on CTV Morning Live.